everybody, this is Ron Tucker. Welcome to my channel. It's called at RonsTalking, and this is something that I'm really beginning to enjoy. I didn't think I would at first, but kind of getting to like this. I want to thank everybody or anybody who decided to take a look at me. I really appreciate any kind of support I can get. Please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. Again, it's at RonsTalking, and some likes and comments would be welcome as well. So this is for everybody. This is for you guys. I'm just doing this on my own time. So trust me, not getting compensated for this. Maybe one day down the line it might happen, but they say it's not too many things out there that are free, but this is. So for what it's worth, take advantage of it. But my main goal is to try to bring truth, honesty, and some clarity to what's happening in our country right now. And I think that it's very, very sad that our country right now is so divided, and there are individuals who we know of that are constantly trying to divide our country, mainly one Donald Trump. This man is just the chief divider, if you will. I've never seen anyone who aspired to be a president, and is also a former president, that says the things, does the things, gets away with the things that he does, and it's just incredible. No other president in our history uses the language he uses, throws out the dog whistles that he does, incites riots, incites violence, creates chaos, continues to throw out all the racist tropes, and want to make sure that all of his supporters and anybody else who has a racial tendency or is one of those people that feels like the government's not working for them, they want to overturn it, they want to overthrow it. You name it, Trump's fomenting it, fostering it. As long as it's negative, as long as he can keep ginning up the base that he is involved in, that support him, that's all he's interested in. Everybody sees it. It happens every freaking day. Every day, without fail. I've said it so many times, but it bears repeating. The man is an embarrassment. And he knows it, but he knows that he cannot be contrite. He cannot be apologetic. He can never indicate that he's sorry for anything he does, whether it's lying on everybody and anybody, including people who haven't done nothing to him. They just had to be victims. And you know who I'm talking about specifically right now. Not Kamala Harris, because she's going to take those slings and arrows from him constantly, and even beyond November the 5th, because that's how vindictive and a sorry individual he is. But those Haitian people and the people in Springfield in general, it's unimaginable that somebody who is aspiring to be a leader, which he's not. I know all these things I'm saying doesn't make a difference really as far as his supporters or him is concerned, but it's still got to be said by somebody, and I'm just one of many out there that's saying it. But he is really, he's a menace. It's just that simple. And he's constantly right now getting away with murder. Constantly. I mean, everything's slanted towards him. He keeps getting the breaks, the preferential treatment, all that. And it's amazing how the people who are Kamala Harris critics, first of all, they always want to act like she's the president of the United States. She's making all the decisions, so they want to blame her. I understand, because she's the front runner now. She's going to take those hits. But it's really sad that so many sad individuals out there will continue to try to paint her in a light that, well, you know, we got to blame her for everything that the president does, even though she's not the president. And it really burns me up when I hear all these individuals trying to put everything on her. Now, again, she's a big girl. She can handle it. It just really shows me every time I see her being attacked by these people on the right who know that Donald Trump is just a pitiful, poor excuse of a leader. And it's hard to even associate his name with that word because he's never shown anything remotely resembling leadership. The man is just a liar of the highest order. He lies about everything, and he's got so many of his people who just lie and parrot just for him because they don't have anything else to do when it comes to being just honest and being right about things when they know that they're wrong. They don't care. And they wonder why people are against them because they're against the principles and all the things that this country is supposed to stand for. Supposed to. And they get on TV, some of them, and just lie for him like there's no tomorrow. Even when they know they're... Oh, man. But some of the stuff is funny. It cracks me up when I see a lot of them just twisting themselves in knots and into pretzels and going through all these gyrations and somersaults and gymnastics and all that stuff just to please him, just so his base won't come after them. But that's the situation that Mitch McConnell and the Senate 8 years ago, they just capitulated to Mr. Trump because they just feared that they were going to lose power again. And when they had a chance twice to take care of this problem that we have right now in our hands with him, their cowardice showed. None of them grew a spine. And here we are today with this same plague that's been on us for years. And he's got the nerve to call people a vermin. But you know how he is, the ultra projectionist he is. Anything he says negative about somebody, he knows he's talking about himself. But let me get to this little article that just, it kind of cracks me up to see just how frightened and scared some of our so-called leaders are when it comes to dealing with Trump and MAGA. Senator Tom Tillis, he got pissed off because the Harris campaign quoted him correctly for something he said about the relief aid and all the efforts by the government to help the people in his constituency, which is North Carolina. So he released a statement on Sunday, and it was promising to the voters that in the aftermath of the devastation that Helene created, he said he was going to pursue long-term federal assistance for families and communities left devastated by the flooding, which he should do. I mean, he needs to take some of those Biden dollars, those Biden bucks, because those people don't care about politics right now. They care about relief. They care about help. They need assistance in every way possible. Their lives have been just turned upside down. So they don't have time for all that political banter and all that back and forth bickering. Where's the money? Where's the relief aid? Where's the support we need? We're trying to get back on our feet. So y'all can fight about this after the 5th of November. But right now, to the 5th and beyond, we need help. We need FEMA. We need the government. Y'all hate Biden and the government all you want, but when it comes time for things to get righted again after you've been through a natural disaster, hey, whoever the president is at that time, you need to deal with him, and most of them do. But Tillis indicated that he was gonna, I guess, get everything he could out the deal, and get what he needed for his people. And then he also said he vowed to clear all the bureaucracy that's needless, that's causing delays, and the start of the long-term rebuilding process can't be delayed because of all that rhetoric. And he also criticized people who are trying to use a natural disaster to score political points, right? He said the last thing that the victims of Helene need right now is political posturing, finger pointing, or conspiracy theories that only hurt the response effort. He said the immediate focus needs to be supporting search and rescue operations, ensuring the safety of everyone in harm's way. Now, his remarks were so poignant and spot on that, the Harris campaign said, "Oh, we might as well go ahead and highlight some of Senator Tillis's comments on social media." And that's what they did. All they did was just regurgitate what he said. He got pissed. He was ticked off because he realized he had just, as they say, fucked up. Excuse me for the coffee break, but it's getting late. So Tillis, he got his panties all up in a bunch. He wasn't happy about the shout out from the Democrats. So he knew that one of the main people that's spreading all that misinformation and the rhetoric and all the lies about what the government isn't doing with these different governors in that region is none other than Tillis's handler, the former president named Donald Trump. So Tillis, in response to what he said, that the Democrats said he said, which is what he said, I was talking about you politicians, using this disaster for political posturing. So, with that being said from Mr. Tillis, when he realized that he shouldn't be saying anything that's going to put the left in a good light, even though they're doing the right thing, and he said the right thing, it was the wrong thing for the MAGA base. So he just about lost his mind, hurry up and try to attack them. And, it's too late. The cat's out the bag, the horse is out the barn, Mr. Tillis. You just said what you I guess Trump probably figured that ain't what you supposed to said, but you better get back on your horse and get out there and try to backtrack all those comments and clean it up. You know how it is in this world today. Once it hits social media, when it comes out your mouth, it's too late, bro. It's a wrap. So, Tillis, he's ticked off, but he'll get over it. Trump ain't gonna change, and he got to deal with the repercussions that come from saying something out of tune and out of turn. But the Fiore, he don't like those kind of things. Right now, it's getting too close to the election, and his life is on the line. You know what I'm saying? So, Tom, I think he gonna probably be quiet for a while because Donald don't like that. That didn't go over real well. I'm also trying to figure out why the media is complicit with this too. The constant theme for the past, 3 weeks is that VP Harris, she's not doing enough interviews. when she does interviews, they're deemed to be soft. They're throwing her softballs. She's not making herself visible enough by some of the critics. She's not really explaining her plans. She's not explaining her policies. She's not reaching out to the right people. Everything that she's doing is just not enough to satisfy her critics. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, Captain Bone Spurs himself, the stable genius, this fraud, this imbecile, he don't have to do much of anything except sound like a blithering idiot on the campaign trail, sounding like a fool, babbling and bloviating and just talking nonsensical stuff about anything and everything, forgetting what the hell he's doing, forgetting who he is, who he's talking about. He runs the gamut. I remember when Biden, if he did one little slip up, even prior to the debate, it was cause for concern, calls for the 25th Amendment to be discussed. He's going through dementia. He's losing it. The man doesn't know where he's at anymore. I mean, everything. But with Trump, he got that privilege card. He just puts up that privilege pass. And since he's the former president, and a lot of these people keep calling him the president anyway, because they are just so messed up in the dome that they still don't want to admit and come to grips with the fact that the man's not president. But you'll see him on some of the shows. Scott Jennings is one of them from CNN. Oh, he loves to keep calling that man the president because they are just so disheartened with the prospect of him possibly losing again, and this time to a black lady. Somebody who destroyed his ass in a debate. And now he's ducking, hiding. He don't want no parts of that no more. He don't want no rebate, no debate, no nothing. Because he got 8 up. And he knows that there's no way in the world he wants to face her again. He don't want that smoke. So he's got so many people that are worried about him. And they also worried about him losing. They're all fearful. But Kamala, she just, she's always got to do 10 times more than him. And, not only from a racial perspective, but from a political perspective, based on the way things have transpired with her ascending to the top spot on the Democratic ticket. And it's always going to be an uphill battle for her because she has to be held at a much higher standard than Trump. And it's so plain and visible. It's ridiculous. It's not even funny. So anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about, y'all probably remember this guy named Reince Preibus. To me, he's the number one bootlicker for Trump. Now, old Preibus used to be the former RNC head and end up in Trump's cabinet. And what he's doing right now, he's trying his best to defend the old liar in chief over some inflammatory rhetoric that caused his own assassination. Trump's big motor mouth is what got him shot at, maybe possibly set up to be shot at again. And that mouth of his, that's what got him becoming a target. And so, of course, in true Republican form, soon as the Trump attempted assassination happened the first time, they gonna blame somebody. So they looking around. Okay, who we gonna blame this on? Who we gonna? No, we're gonna blame on. Well, let me see. Hmm. Ah. It must have been a conspiracy somewhere. So they start with that, and then they got to figure out who they're gonna insert into the conspiracy space to make the whole puzzle fit. So they went from one thing to another, and the next thing you know, of course, Joe Biden, of course, Kamala. Then overall, it's got to be the Democrats. You know, they never look at what Trump does, of course. So he's the one that's been spewing all that rhetoric and all the vitriol and anger. So what really upset the Republicans was that they couldn't really blame the Democrats at first for the shooting because that guy that tried to pop him was a registered Republican. So that hurry up and closed that door real quick on them. Then they had to try to figure out some more angles. But anyway, Preibus was on, I think he was on ABC's show this week with George Stephanopoulos. And he and Donna Brazile, the former DNC chairwoman, they got into a little heated back and forth at the table. Now, Reince he got unceremoniously booted out of Trump's cabinet back in, I think it was like 2017, I believe. Well, he got booted out for Mr. Scaramucci, the mooch. And he still wants to lick Trump's crack just to see if he can get a do-over if Trump happens to win again. I think that's Preibus' angle, just like a lot of people out there that used to be associated with the Fiore. Okay? Now, Preibus, what he wants to do is follow another Republican bullshit line about the Dems trying to assassinate Trump because of what they're saying and talking about. And like I said, even though the first shooter was a registered Republican. Now, old Preibus got fired by old Doofus Donald, who he thought so highly of that he sold all his principles in order to be near the power in the White House. And how was he repaid? He was repaid by getting his tail kicked out of the White House by his handler, Trump. And that was after only 6 months on the job. And the first person that got him, because Trump just let everybody just attack Preibus, because he's a wimp. And the first person was the old human pug dog, Steve Bannon. And because Bannon was giving him the blues. And then Trump went ahead and let his children rough him up a little bit, you know. And next came old Anthony Scaramucci, like I said a minute ago. And the mooch threatened to kick his ass for real. And while Trump was just basically just standing back, watching them go at it, laughing about it. Because he knew, like I said, Reince, he's a wuss. And so then, you know, Trump decided to just go ahead and do a mercy killing and went ahead and put him out of his misery by firing him. Okay. Now, here comes old Rheinhold, which is, in case you didn't know, Rheinhold is his real name. So, you know, he comes limping back into the scene here with this ABC show the other day with his his ass back to licking the boots of Trump just to demonstrate his undying love for the Fuhrer. And you know, when a guy has a name like Reinhold, he ain't gonna raise too much of a fuss. You know, if you kick him in the rear, he ain't gonna act like a wounded dog and start yelping. So you can just look at him. Hey, I'm just being real. You can look at Preibus and you know he's got a lot of sucralose or some saccharin in those veins of his. I'm just saying, you understand where I'm coming from. Hey, gotta call him like you see him sometime. Anybody heard from Diddy lately? I'm just curious because that's a lot of YouTube action all the time with all the different, theories and everything else about the guy from sun up to sundown, but I don't know what's happening for him right now, but I just thought somebody might know some new updated information. I believe it's going to be a whole bunch of people swinging before this thing is over. It's going to get ugly. And uglier. Let's switching gears a little bit. I wonder how my girl Tina Peters, that old former clerk in Colorado, just got her butt locked up and sent to prison. You know, one of her grievances that she had to the court before the judge sent her away was like she wanted some magnetic mattresses, that she was accustomed to sleeping on. But I really doubt the prison that she's staying at right now granted her that request. She ain't going to have to worry about something sticking to her pretty soon when she meets the rest of the neighbors. Again, I ain't trying to start that. I'm just saying. Boy, I tell you, things are happening. So what's old Trump up to today? Let's see. Oh, he went to another solemn event, and he asked a rabbi and was offering him a prayer book. And Trump always on his grift game now. He wanted to know if the rabbi wanted him to sign the book. It's a prayer book now. And Trump knows a lot about prayers, right? So anyway, he wanted to know if the rabbi wanted him to autograph it. If Trump puts his name on something, it's automatically valuable. But see, that's what those Jewish people get for inviting this knucklehead to any kind of function like this. Because he's just like a hillbilly in Beverly Hills. He don't know how to behave there because he ain't never been there before. Bad move, Jews. Bad move. You got to watch yourself. Now, a lot of people lately been getting those silver bracelets placed on their wrist. You know what I mean? Like, click, click. Assume the position and all that stuff. And, latest political casualty is this GOP idiotic wingnut named Michelle Fiore. Now this chick, she's a piece of work. And so in typical grifting fashion, she solicited funds from the public to build a statue to honor a police officer that was killed in the line of duty. But, of course, true Republican grifting fashion, she decided her rent and more plastic surgery is more important than the officer's memory. Besides, I guess she figured, hey, he's dead, so what is he going to do with the loot? So, a jury found Miss 44D's guilty of 6 federal counts of conspiracy and wire fraud. Really, it should have been 7. One for being hopelessly stupid. But, that one's a given. So anyway, she was transferring donations as fast as they came in to her daughter's bank account. Yeah, her daughter, her offspring was in on the deal too. So the funds were then withdrawn in cash, of course. And her dumb daughter was enjoying the largesse of cash. So when she got on the witness stand, she started lying. And then the questions started getting more and more specific and detailed. So old Big Boo Barbie's daughter, she caved in. And she all of a sudden came down with that courtroom medical malady. That dilemma called tightening of the sphincter. So she decided to shut her yap and play the 5th, 6th, and the 7th. And if that wasn't enough, old Mama Fiore was dipping into the charity's funds way back in the early 2020 spending funds on important things such as paying her daughter's catering company about $109,000 over an 18-month period for what a mama called advertising and special events. In other words, called stealing. So, here we go. Salome Michelle and clone daughter, two imbeciles who just felt entitled to all those ill-gotten goods. Next, looks like old Pharma Bro, old Martin Shkreli, the boy genius who was too smart to stay out of prison. He shot his shot at the SCOTUS to appeal his court order to cost about $64.6 million because he raised the price of a multi-pronged drug by over 5,000% from $13.50 a pill to $750. Now he spent about 5 years in the slam for it. I'm thinking he must have been taking some of those pills if he thought he was going to get away with all that. And he didn't. So the Supreme Court told him, pay up, partner. We don't need to see you. And speaking of imbeciles, here's Trump again. He's announcing his racism out in the open as usual. Now, he says the country has a lot of bad genes right now. And of course, CNN's poster boy for Trump apologist Scott Jennings never misses his cue. He's stating, well, it was perfectly fine for Trump to acknowledge that some people are genetically predisposed to violence. And now, there's a concerted effort by the people out there to make it seem like Trump is using disparaging words about immigrants with his remarks. Now, the quote in question from old Bucket Lips Trump is, how about allowing people to come to an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers? You see, this is how the Donald works on idiots out here. See, he gins up the media by saying inflammatory, racist comments and sits back and watches both sides go at it at some of these television shows and whatnot. And then he just sits back and watches and just laughs, I guess, because he knows what he's intending to do and how it works, because he's a pro at it. And the laughable aspect of the whole thing, to me, is that Trump nor his supporters have absolutely nothing to verify their numbers they cite all the time about how many immigrants have come across the border, how many murderers out there, how many rapists. They ain't counting shit. They don't know shit, but it doesn't matter. And Trump knows that he doesn't have to have any proof of a damn thing. You know why? Because he knows he has enough dummies in the general populace that are racist just like him. And he knows the media won't force him to produce any evidence of where the numbers originated from that he was espousing. You know, they ain't gonna do that. Because they rarely ever push back on him because he waves his little imperial hand and tells them to get lost. I'm done. No more questions. I ain't answering no more, even if you ask him. That's how he rolls. You let Kamala act like that and be non-committal, shit, they'd be all over her like a cheap suit. See, Trump's MO is simply fuck them. I tell the lies and let them figure it out. And that's another reason why he reneged on the 60 Minutes interview. Like I said earlier, he don't want no parts of no interviews where he got to answer some questions from a source that's not friendly to him. No, 60 Minutes, they're going to ask him questions he's not going to like. That's why he's talking about, he's waiting for a damn apology over something that happened 4 years ago. You carrying a grudge that long? No, you full of shit. You just don't want to go on an interview because those remnants and those flashbacks of that damn debate, when you know you ain't gonna be able to lie your way out of this interview, once they ask you some questions that you don't want to deal with, he knows he gonna bomb. So he gonna maintain his stance right now. First, no interviews like on 60 Minutes, even though they've been doing this for 50 years with presidential candidates. Number two, no debates with Kamala. It ain't happening. I thought it might have a shot at it, but nah, I see where Trump's going. He ain't gonna slip on that banana peel again. He's already through probably, but he don't want to submit his fate. So, but ain't it funny how lately some of these coons, as I call them for Trump, are being treated kind of hostile by the MAGA faithful. You know, there's a black Trump supporter who got his ass kicked by two white supporters while they were in line for one of Trump's rallies. I saw the thing on video. There was a little quick beat down. Then they all got to scuffling a little bit. But Trump's spokespeople tried to clean it up by saying these guys who were standing in line for the rally were not standing in line for the rally. They were just vendors and were removed from the premises. You're right. They probably were removed, but they didn't look like they were no vendors when they got to scuffling. I think their brother, he had all his gear on. He had a red MAGA hat on. Probably had a cocked H-deuce to the side. Probably had if he had a $100,000 Trump gold watch on, those raggedy sneakers that Trump was trying to hawk, and a Trumpy bear, he still probably would have got his ass kicked. Because he thought he was geared up. They weren't going to rough him up. But he fucked up. And he paid the price. That's what you get for thinking that you one of them because you got on their gear. You still what they think you are. And I ain't going to drop the N on you. But suffice to say, I don't know if you're going to go to another rally anytime soon, but you better have some more backup than what you had that day. Let's see, nothing like a family. A little family get together of loved ones like that. It just warms your heart. See, I think the white guys, they were probably mad, like I said, because the brother wasn't wearing his MAGA hat properly. Next coon. This brother named Carl Baxter, president of the Republican Club of North and East Fort Myers, Florida. Y'all might have heard of this when he's suing his white handlers, a major Republican group, and accusing them, now get this, using racist language toward him. Now, that's shocking, right? I mean, it's America. That kind of stuff don't happen. Anyway. According to Mr. Baxter, AFP, which stands for Americans for Prosperity, a staffer for them repeatedly referred to Baxter as a slave. A black man being called a slave? When did this go down? When did this happen? I'm trying to figure that out because that don't sound too familiar to me. Anyway, here's the quote, though, from Mr. Baxter about what old girl said about him and to him. She said, I know you are doing the work, and I can see the doors that you are hitting on my iPad on my side. At least you are working as a slave. Allegedly sarcastically. But at least you are getting paid. Many slaves today do get paid. Many used to never get paid. Are you a slave? Now, I don't know if he answered that question in the affirmative or the negative, but a good question for Mr. Baxter. According to Mr. Baxter, he was approached also to get dirt on a city council member for $500, but he declined the bribe. See, he'd rather stay a slave, I guess. Mr. Baxter claimed he is also owed money for his work and hasn't got paid in full. Maybe that was the part that old girl was alluding to when she said many used to never get paid. My suggestion to Mr. Baxter is go tell it to Trump. Well, also, it looks like the stench of old Kyle Rittenhouse. Y'all probably remember him, I'm sure. That stench follows him like the scent of a skunk. Now, old Kyle, the killer, he was supposed to appear at a fundraiser to support a Kentucky State House candidate named T.J. Roberts, an attorney who was also a strong gun supporter. But somebody, some hillbilly, got online and found out Rittenhouse was going to appear at this fundraiser and said if Rittenhouse appears, he was going to pop a cap in his ass. So those plans were scuttled. That's the way it goes. Boy, Kyle. Now, ain't it nice to see your acting skills that you displayed on the witness stand at your trial that got you off the hook for murder? Really a double. Along with your uncanny marksmanship when you shot those two guys. You see how it's made you famous and you got your 15 minutes of, well, in your case, maybe 5 minutes of fame. And now you're a pariah. Really, nobody in the mainstream wants to see you. Even some of those MAGA people are probably tired of you now. You see, when you're a snake like yourself and a little lying crook and a murderer, after a while, even some of the people that lied for you and supported you, they realize that you're just a little weasel and you got away with murder and all that. So you yesterday's news, bro. And they tired of supporting you. They're looking for the next Kyle. You go, killer. Goes around, comes around. Karma's a bitch. And she don't play no favorites. So, with all that being said tonight, this is a quickie. It's a short one. I just want to let y'all know I'm on the case. I'm going to keep on trying to bring it. And whenever I see things happening, I got to speak on it. I'll be putting out something again real soon. Just jot down my notes because the news is always hopping and popping. So, with that being said, I hope all y'all have a great day because I know it's daytime where most of y'all are at. And I appreciate you taking a look at my video. Give me a thumbs up. Hit me with a subscribe. And we'll do this all over again. So as they always say, take care of yourself. God bless you. And let's make sure we get Kamala in the White House because we can't afford not to. I'm out.